Weaver, voice of the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series. Introducing Pro 2 and Pro 4 trucks on iRacing. Game on!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, here to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Roger Muth in the booth here, bringing you the Red Light Scrambler Series. It's the Xfinity Throwback Week, and boy, do these boys have some great throwback paint schemes out there. As you see, we're just over the 2-minute mark here from the Darlington Raceway. Once a year, NASCAR heads here to the south to the Darlington Raceway, always for Throwback Weekend. They always bring the Xfinity Series and the NASCAR Monster Cup cars here to Darlington. But tonight, here for the Red Light Scrambler Series, it's the Xfinity car this week. And like I said, they are here for Darlington at the Egg 1.3-mile track in Darlington, South Carolina. It's a track that you gotta dance with the lady in black. We're gonna see who's able to dance better than the next guy. Right now, Sean Butler out front here in your practice times, right over James Skelton, Richard Murdoch, Tim Blum, who was had a great run last week from Watkins Glen. Todd Cray is sitting 5th right now on your speed charts. If you're tuning in for the first time here on your Turn 3 Racing Network, it's the first time also for the Red Light Scrambler Series, and we're delighted to have them here on a Monday night. It's the beginning of the week, and it's a good series here to start it off with, here from the egg-shaped 1.3 mile from Darlington. Just a minute left here in your qualifying session. We don't have a point slide, unfortunately, here for the Scrambler Series, but let's see if we can rattle through some of your drivers. Max Terriot has your points championship lead that he took over from the 88 of Sean Butler last week after having a great run at Watkins Glen. Right now, Max holds a 3-point slim margin over the driver Tim Blum, who sits second. Third place in your point standings right now is going to be James Skelton, with Eric Johnson sitting tied for 4th place with Brandon Mitto. Richard Murdoch also tied for that 4th spot, and then there's a big gap all the way back to Sean Butler, who sits 7th in your point standings, but he's only 15 points out of your championship lead. Ethan Troutman sits 8th in your points, and DJ Anderson sits 9th. Sitting 10th on your championship hunt standings is going to be Patrick Orr. That's your top 10 here for the Red Light Scrambler Series. As you see, just about 2 seconds left here before we hit over to qualifying. Qualifying here tonight is going to be a 10-minute single-car qualifying attempt. Drivers have 2 laps to lay down the fastest time out on the track. Who's it going to be tonight? Could your 88 there of Sean Butler, who had the fastest time in practice, come out here and set a blistering pace? We're going to have to pay attention here. We got 10 minutes, 9 minutes and 47 seconds left here on the clock. Nobody has taken to the track. Looks like Joe Strano, though, could possibly be one of the first ones. It sounds like we have one driver other than Joe Strano coming out on the track. Eric Johnson going to be the first one to actually hit the backstretch here to try and get that 33 Wrangler jeans. Sweet little paint job, throwing back to, well, I guess you could say either it could be Dale Jr. or throw it back to his father back when he ran that Wrangler. Gonna look to see times hovering right around the 29-second mark as Eric takes the green flag for his first qualifying attempt here. The tires tonight here in qualifying, you're gonna give them all you can here for your first 2 laps, and then after that, even when we get to the race, 2 laps and the tires are gonna be shot here tonight. As you see, Eric Johnson working through turns 3 and 4 for the first time here. Let's see what kind of lap time he's gonna put in here in qualifying, as he'll be the first one. As he does a one and done, he goes with a 29.140. So he right now holds the spot as we wait for a couple other drivers. It looked like Eric Tupper was out there, but he backed it off. Now the number 7 here of Leo Brodage puts down a time with his Bill Elliott Coors paint scheme right here as he gets bumped real quick down the order. A couple guys are starting to come in here now as Leo goes for lap number 2 down the backstretch. The 962 driver of Ethan Troutman, though, as he has the NWO wrestling affiliation, sponsored 962s. You saw him get into the wall. He has the top spot right now here in qualifying, but it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to hold on to that because, yeah, you see him in the wall again. It's going to negate his second timed lap. James Skelton goes P2 on the board. A couple other drivers out there on track. Driving the number 10 Channel Lock car here tonight. Going to be the number 10 of Tim Blum. Tim goes straight to the top of the board. He goes with a quick time of 29.004. And he's going to go for 2. He's had one time lap in the books. He's going to go for number 2. We'll have to pay attention and see where he slots in. Gary Weaver also out here on track. Let's see what kind of paint job Gary Weaver is driving. I'm not sure if that's quite a throwback paint scheme here tonight for the 941 of Gary Weaver. Let's see where he can come across the board, though. Looks like Gary Weaver now actually on the clock, so we'll come back to Gary and see where he blends in. Andy Lee in the 25 machine. He goes straight to the top of the board. He broke the 29-second barrier. He goes with a 28.982. So that's the new quick time here for the driver of the 25 Toyota Camry car out here tonight. See if anybody else is going to be able to break into that 28-second bracket, actually. Andy Lee's second lap. A little bit slower. He goes to 29.13. Talking about Gary Weaver, it looks like Gary Weaver actually ended up taking the wall as we have a new quick time out there. The 01 driver driving that Havoline motor oil. Richard Murdoch to the top of this charts. He goes into the 28 bracket with a 28.922. So that's the new quick time. We got about half the drivers left here to qualify with just 6 minutes left to go. On his second lap, let's see if Richard Murdoch able to go any faster. He is not. He goes with a 29 flat on his second lap, so he'll shut it down right there. Only one driver out there on the track right now, the number 3, Tony Strano, in another Wrangler paint scheme, but this time out there driving a Ford Mustang. That doesn't go together, the number 3 or the Wrangler jeans on a Ford Mustang, but Tony Strano trying to be a little different out here. Let's see if he can be different and put the number 3 up on the top chart. Couple other drivers out there still on track. Sean Butler just joined in for a qualifying lap. We're checking on Sean here right after we get done watching the number 3 here. Strano come across the stripe. Let's see where he's going to file in here tonight. 15 guys have taken time. He's going to make number 16. He goes 15 on the charts. Well, let's check in with Sean Butler here in the Pepsi number 88 as he goes down the backstretch. He was out there on track a handful of moments ago, and he ended up finding the outside wall there. You're dancing with that lady in black, and he stepped across the line, and she kind of bit him, stepped on his foot, if you will. So Butler comes across the line, and he goes to the top of the charts. P1 for the 88 of Sean Butler. He goes with a 28.906. So that's the new quick time out there. The number 2 here of Joshua Buckley coming out. He's going to put an attempt in here in his Miller Genuine Draft number 2. Rusty Wallace-inspired paint scheme on that Chevy Camaro here tonight. No other drivers out there on track right now, so we're just following the number 2 here of Joshua Buckley around. Joshua Buckley sitting tied for 13th in your point standings here tonight. He comes in 37 back of your leader of Terriot. Looking at where Buckley has finished so far this season, looks like last week at Watkins Glen had a 9th place finish. The week prior to that, they were over at the Michigan International Raceway, and he had a 19th place finish. 10th place finish before that at Kentucky, and a 22nd place to start the season out at Talladega in the Truck Series. But Joshua Buckley going to go 9th on the charts on his first attempt here. He's got one more lap left in the book, so let's see if he can pick up any kind of speed in that number 2. Time chart looks pretty good here on lap number 2 for Josh Buckley. Let's see. Oh, a little bit slower. He goes with a 29.145. So right now, the only other driver who's out there, and he's just turned in practice laps, going to be the number 10 of Tim Blum, as he's already put in a qualifying time as he sits 4th on his speed chart. So these laps out here right now for Tim, just kind of taking some practice laps. Well, as we have just 2 minutes left here in our qualifying session, doesn't look like any other driver is going to come out here onto the speedway, so we're going to step away for just a moment. We're going to get our national anthem played, and we'll be right back here at a grid tonight here at Darlington for your Red Light Scrambler Series, the Throwback Monday night.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the boats bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Welcome back here to Darlington Raceway. Race fans, 20 seconds left in our qualifying session. No other drivers have hit the track here since we stepped away, but with 12 seconds to go, it looks like Sean Butler and Richard Murdoch are going to take the front row here tonight for the throwback race at Darlington. We do thank everybody for tuning in here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network to watch the Red Light Scrambler Series. Filling in here tonight for the PTR TV crew as they're away on vacation, so we welcome all the fans of the Red Light Scrambler Series here to the Turn 3 Racing Network. As you see, the lights have gone out for qualifying as we're going to start to grid up these drivers tonight. Let's see if we can walk you through your starting lineup here for your Red Light Scrambler throwback race. Starting on the pole, going to be the number 88 of Sean Butler, and right alongside him, going to be the 01 of Richard Murdoch. Andy Lee in the 25, going to start there in third, and rolling off fourth, the number 10 of Tim Blum. Ethan Troutman going to start the 962 there in fifth, right alongside him, the 42 of Max Terriot. Seventh starting position tonight's going to go to the 86 of James Skelton, and Brandon Mitto going to start the number 20 in 8th position. Ninth going to go to the number 2 of Joshua Buckley, the 33 of Eric Johnson starting 10th. 11th going to go to the 81 of Patrick Orr, and the 98 of Ryan O'Danny going to start 12th. 13th position going to go to the 943 of Joe Strano, and Jesse Baker going to start the 909 in 14th. 15th starting spot going to go to Leo Brodage in the number 7 machine, and Eric Tupper going to start the 940 in 16th. 17th starting spot going to go to the number 3 of Tony Strano, and Christopher Rothrock going to start 18th in the 84. 19th starting spot tonight going to go to the number 4 here of Kyle Souza, and Todd Craig going to start the 922 in 20th. 21st position tonight going to go to the 997 of Lee Bedsole. David Camara going to start the 972 in 22nd. 23rd going to go to the 23rd going to be the 59 of Bruce Potter. Gary Weaver going to roll 24th in the 941 machine. And starting shotgun to the field, the 39 of Brian Phillips in 25th. That's your starting lineup here as they start to pull away. Question for all you race fans is who's going to have the hot shoe tonight? Who's going to go dancing with the Lady in Black? Because we're about to set these boys loose for 100 laps here to dance with the Lady in Black. Who's going to stay up top, run the Kyle Larson line early on? Who's going to step over the line? We're going to see a lot of Darlington stripes because it is pretty warm out there tonight. Let's check out the track facts. There it is. 4 turns, 1.3 mile, 100 laps. Going to be 131 miles tonight. Track temp into the 100 degrees. It's 102 degrees out there. And we're about to go green flag racing for the first time here with the Red Light Scrambler Series. Let's see how these boys bring them down nice and slow here by the 88 of Sean Butler. 25 drivers here tonight. It looks like 25 drivers going to take the green flag, and there is the green flag as we're racing for the first time here at Darlington as it's an early break there for the 88 of Sean Butler. Butler going to go into turn 1. He's going to be clear by 4 car lengths over the number 01 of Richard Murdoch, and then there was a little bit of a battle back there with the number 10 of Tim Blum and Andy Lee in the 25. Tim Blum going to get that starting position. Well, it's going to take that position here on the start. Here to complete lap number 1. It looks like one driver up into the wall already. That looks like it's going to be the 81 of Patrick Orr, but lap number 1, we're going to go to the 88 of Sean Butler. Looks like everybody has started to single file out. Nobody trying to push the envelope, push the issue here in the early going. Sean Butler still holds on to the top spot. Richard Murdoch got everybody else in tow, and it looks like Murdoch's already been into the outside wall. A little right front damage on that Texaco Haviland 01 machine. Right behind him going to be the number 10 of Tim Blum, and Andy Lee sit there in 3rd and 4th. Max Terry out in the 42, sporting that Jeff Gordon DuPont throwback. As they sail him off down into turns 3 and 4 once again. Still Butler out front. A little bit farther back towards the back. Here's the 943, that blue car, the powder baby blue, GP Pacific. That's Joe Strano right now just hanging on, sitting there in the 12th spot. He knows it's early on. He knows the tires can go away quick. Car into the outside wall. It looks like that was the number 3 there of Tony Strano as he's been in heavy contact with the outside wall coming out of turn number 2. Turn 2 gets real tight when the drivers come off. The car just seems to want to push. There's a little bit of a hump. It also gets the car all sorts of out of shape, and that seems to be what possibly just happened back there to Tony as he's got some right front damage. But Kyle Souza right now battling with the number 4, of Kyle Souza battling out with the 84 of Rothrock, and Souza going to take the position. That'll move Rothrock back to 19th, and Souza up into the 18th spot. Still early going. Look how Christopher Rothrock came right back to the back bumper of that number 4 Mustang going into the corner there. Tried to get him maybe a little bit arrow loose. Didn't work out. There's a pass right behind him. Looks like the 81 of Patrick Orr tried. Oh, contact with Patrick Orr and Betzel. Betzel gonna save it as he looks like he's got some pretty substantial damage. We saw somebody else off the pace up on the a little bit farther up. That's gonna be the 909 of Jesse Baker as Baker enters the track. That's gonna put the number 4 of Souza into the outside wall there, and right in front of actually Gary Weaver also getting a piece of that outside retaining wall. So a couple of these drivers trying to push it as hard as they can here in the early going, and they have stepped on the toe here for the Lady in Black. They found the outside wall. Let's check back out front because it's still the 88 of Sean Butler. He's got about a second lead right now over Richard Murdoch, who still holds down the second position. Tim Blum still running the number 10 Channel Lock Machine in third. Andy Lee still hanging on to fourth. Rounding out your top five. Hasn't changed any. It's still Terriot. Terriot just hanging back here in the 42 machine. Looking real nice with a couple of the Looney Tune characters on that throwback. Not quite sure what year Jeff Gordon ran that. I do recall him running that paint scheme at one point in time, but I'm not quite sure when it was. Ethan Troutman, though, that man, the NWO car, that comes out of the 1990s stable. Well, what a heck of a throwback that is. Back when wrestling was pretty popular back in the early 90s. Still popular nowadays, but the NWO, if I recall, was no longer an organization, but Troutman trying to throw back to the good old days. There's a good battle back here between James Skelton, Joshua Buckley, and then Ryan O'Danny back here. That's the 9th, 10th, and 11th position. They've been duking it out, battling real close as O'Danny into the outside wall a little bit. Gets a little bit of a Darlington stripe on that Sitco Ford. As right behind him, Joe Strano going to put the GP Georgia Pacific car into the outside wall. Had to check up. There was Brodage in the number 7 Forest car. Strano into the outside wall again. Hit the outside wall in between 1 and 2 and then bounced off it again in 3 and 4. Conditions out there are really tight. Only 50% fuel load, I heard, also makes these cars handle a little bit different than what it would be if you had a full fuel load. With a full fuel load in these cars, you'd be able to feel the car burn off the fuel, and you can feel the change in the car. But not here tonight with only 50% fuel. And Eric Johnson, he's trying to make the move here on the number 20 of Mitto. And that's the battle for the 7th and 8th position. Eric Johnson, though, got a great run off turn number 4 in the 33. Down into turn 1, you see everybody lift there. It looks like Johnson had a moment where he could slide up, and Mitto did give him the spot, but he checked up too much. Now here comes, has Mitto into the outside wall. The 86 of Skelton was trying to get through there. He got through, but that ended up putting the number 20 into the outside wall. That Miller High Life Ford. Seen better days at this point. That little right front damage is going to damper that car's handling performance here tonight. 13 laps already in the books. Green flag racing. Sean Butler, though, now really starting to turn up the wick. He was out there. He got out to a good lead here in the early going, and then kind of seems like he backed off for a couple laps, but now he's really started to turn it on. He's got a 2.5-second lead over Tim Blum. Only one movement inside your top 5, and that's going to be Troutman taking the 5th spot from Lee. So Lee going to put the 25 in 6th, and Troutman going to put the 962 into your 5th spot. We do have 2 drivers here tonight who did not take to the grid. It's going to be the 922 of Todd Cray and the 972 of David Camara. Both those drivers were out there in practice. Neither of those 2 drivers took to the grid. So Ethan Troutman here on lap 15, looking to try and work over the 01 here of Richard Murdoch. Murdoch actually slipped a little bit here, if you remember right, or in the first handful of laps. Murdoch started second, was running second for a handful of laps, but now he's fallen all the way back here to the 4th spot as he tries to hold off Troutman. Back here, Ryan O'Danny is still trying to work over, or was close enough to work over the number 2 of Joshua Buckley, but he has fallen off just a little bit. Eric Johnson still holding on to the 7th position as Skelton and Buckley are right there trailing him. Johnson still looks like he has a clean number 33 Wrangler Chevy here tonight. There you see it actually looks like Eric's going to move over here. He's going to allow James to get by. Can he slide back up in front of Josh? He does slide up in front of Buckley right there. So he's just going to lose 1 position on that exchange. There you see some close-up, close-in-person action shots right here. We're 18 laps into this one, wondering when the green flag pit stops are going to start. More than likely, you're going to want new 4 fresh tires before you're going to want a tank of fuel, and I'm sure everybody out there is starting to scream that they want the tires. As you see Sean Butler up into the outside wall. Got a little damage on the right front of that 88 Pepsi Camaro. Possibly got that a couple laps ago, and looking at the timing and scoring, though, the 88 is Sean Butler is starting to lose his lead as he's up into the outside wall again, because here comes the number 10 of Blum. Blum has a good-looking number 10 channel lock car. It looks like that he's been able to keep it out of the wall so far tonight. Let's take you a run through your top 10 drivers here on lap number 20. The 88 of Sean Butler still hanging on to the lead. The number 10 of Tim Blum has moved up 2 positions from the 4th starting spot here tonight. He runs now in your 2nd spot. Right now, the 42 of Max Terriot holds on to the 3rd spot. Started 6th tonight, so he's up 3 spots in the early going. Richard Murdoch in the 01 runs right now in 4th, as he started in 2nd. Ethan Troutman, though, running inside your 5th spot. Seems like he has a pretty racy car here tonight and just trying to slowly work his way through the field. Andy Lee in the 25 car runs right now in your 6th spot. The 86 of James Skelton in 7th. Right behind him going to be the number 33 of Eric Johnson. Joshua Buckley inside the top 10, started 9th and actually still holds strong in his 9th position. Did lose a spot in the initial drop of the green flag, but has worked his way back into the 9th spot. Number 20 of Brandon Mitto hangs on right now to your final top 10 position, running 10th there in the Miller High Life machine. He's been into the outside wall twice here in the early goings, trying to keep it out of the outside wall. And we have a caution out on the track. Looks like caution flag going to involve the 909 here of Baker. Let's see if we can try and see if we can find where that happened out there on track. As we find the 909 car out here of Baker, it looks like he goes down into turn 1. Turn 1 looked pretty clean, pretty good so far through there. Did he happen to get tight coming off turn number 2? Off turn 2, he found the outside wall, into the inside wall hard. A lot of damage done right in front of your leaders. Your leaders had to go down low to get around him. He had to elect to take the tow back to pit road. So that's not exactly how Jesse Baker wanted his night to go, but he's gonna, looks like he's out of the event here on lap 23. Let's see where your leaders are. Here comes Sean Butler. He's gonna lead everybody down pit road. Sean Butler going to lead Tim Blum, Max Terriot, Richard Murdoch, and Ethan Troutman down pit road here on lap 23, working our first yellow flag of the evening. It was a good little stretch right there by the drivers here in the opening to stretch the legs to see what kind of racing surface we were going to have here tonight. So far, it looks like Tim Blum and Sean Butler like what they've seen. Every driver has come down pit road. Nobody going to stay out to try and lead a lap here, as we watch Sean Butler hit his pit stall. Looked like the 01 right behind Sean Butler of Murdoch kind of sliding through his pit stall a little bit. That's going to possibly cost him some time, but it's going to be 4 fresh tires for everybody throughout the field. Sean Butler down and away in the 88. He's going to be the first one off pit road. Then it's going to be Tim Blum. Then it's going to be Terriot coming out in 3rd. Murdoch looks like he possibly snuck out, still hanging on to his 4th spot. Troutman going to come out there running 5th. Eric Johnson to 6th. Josh Buckley up into 7th. Brandon Mitto coming out there in 8th. And Ryan O'Dani? Well, I'm not quite sure which one he really wants. I heard a whole bunch from the drivers here in the pre-race that they gave me a whole bunch of different names. We're going to keep some of them off the air here, but Ryan O'Dani going to come out there running 9th. Andy Lee going to be the big loser here on pit road. He goes from running inside your top 5 all the way to the 10th position. Lights on the iRacing pace car is still on, so we're going to have at least another lap here under yellow flag conditions here on lap 25. Still under our first yellow. Once again, we thank all of our fans for tuning in here to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Muth up here in the booth tonight, bringing you all the camera action, all the commentary, pushing the buttons, getting it all wrong for you right here. The Red Light Scrambler Series, first appearance here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Stepping in here for the PTR TV boys. We appreciate everything that the Red Light Scrambler Series does, along with all of our fans that are tuning in here. So if you enjoy what you see, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. A lot of good throwback paints out there tonight. Here are a couple drivers out there right now turning the car off, trying to save as much fuel as they can. Could be a long stretch to the end here on fuel if we are able to wind out the next 75 laps under green flag conditions. We'll see how that turns out. Let's take a quick peek at the track facts once again here to see if the track temp has come down at all. Track temp only down 1 degree since the start of the race. It started at 102 degree Fahrenheit. Now it's down to 101, so track temp still up there in the 100 degree marker, still making for tough conditions. So the lights on the iRacing pace car are off here, so we will go back green flag racing on lap 27 here. When we go back green flag racing on lap 27, that'll leave us with 74 laps to go. So far today, we've only had 1 leader. The number 88 of Sean Butler has led every lap so far here tonight. I'm sure Tim Blum, now that he's going to get a chance here to start on the front row, is going to take a shot here early on. But don't bat your eyelashes just yet. Terrialt sitting right there in 3rd and Murdoch in 4th. Troutman is 5th with Johnson 6th. That's going to be your first 3 rows of drivers here when we take the green flag. Waiting for the iRacing pace car to make the left. There it goes. Field's in the hands of Sean Butler. There it is. You see him nice and slow coming off turn number 4. Green flag is in the air, and everybody going to try and come up through the gearbox. Looks like Sean Butler going to retain his lead, but there's a battle for 2nd. Terriot looking to the inside, wasn't able to complete the pass when they come off turn 2, but contact towards the back of the pack. Patrick Orr going to make contact with Gary Weaver. Both those drivers going to slide down off the racing surface. No caution has been brought out just yet. Doesn't look like we're going to get a caution. Let's see if we can find that replay for you real quick. As there was already happened, we're going to go back to the initial drop of the green here. There we see Patrick Orr in the 81 UPS Toyota. What happens to Patrick here coming off turn number 2? It looks like he already has a couple scrapes with the outside wall. As he just gets into the outside wall, when he comes off the wall, there was the 941 of Gary Weaver. So those 2 drivers making contact. It looks like Patrick Orr is going to come down pit road, but still out front. Still going to be that 88. But this time he doesn't have that 2.5 lead over the number. Number 10 is actually showing 2nd. I didn't see that switch on the timing and scoring, but here comes Terry out to the inside. He had a little bit of a run there, but going into the corner, had to check up. Didn't want to get into the side there of the 88 of Butler, so it's going to be Butler at the line, Terry out 2nd, Blum in 3rd. We missed that pass for 2nd as we were bringing you that replay there from the start off turn number 2. As they come off turn number 2 once again, though, it looks like put your top 10 right here, still nose to tail, then a little bit of a gap back to the 11th place runner, the 940 of Eric Tupper. Sits there just kind of minding his own P's and Q's in that percolator machine. Joe Strano right behind him with Christopher Rothrock running 11th through 13th right there. Take it back up here because Max Terriot still just hanging to the back bumper here on Sean Butler, not letting him run away this time like he did on the drop of the green. So as we come down to complete another lap here. 31 laps in the book. 31 laps been led by the 88 of Sean Butler. No side-by-side action out there right now. Andy Lee, though, looking like he's going to go to the inside of O'Danny right here. Possibly O'Danny into the wall. Contact between those two drivers off turn 2. Contact between Ryan O'Danny and Andy Lee. Lee going to take the position, but it looks like Ryan going to have to try and regroup here after hard contact with the outside wall. Possibly using Andy Lee as a little bit of a buffer there so that car didn't go around to find the inside wall like we saw earlier in the race here. So now as O'Danny tries to hang on to the 11th spot, he's got Strano back here in the 943 looking to see if he can take the position while O'Danny is kind of weak and still trying to find where he can get back into a groove. Your closest battle on track are these top 3 drivers, Butler, Terriot, and Blum, cross the line to complete lap 33. As it looks like we're starting to work up on a lap down car here. It's going to be the 39 here of Brian Phillips. He's a little off the pace in that Stacy's 39. He's going to drop to the inside. He's going to let your leaders go by on the outside. He wants nothing to do with the lead, or the battle for the lead. A gentleman move here while trying to dance with the lady in black. So it's a 3-car breakaway, and then it's going to be the second trains led by the 01 of Murdoch. Johnson, Troutman, Buckley, Mitto. Gary Weaver's back out on track, still on the lead lap after that little scuffle. Still trying to hang it on there. You see him got a little bit of a wiggle wobble coming out of turn number 4. Weaver hanging on to the final position on the lead lap, running 19th in the 941. But he's got about that much of a distance, about 2 corners distance between him and the 88 of Sean Butler. Butler up there playing tap dancing with the outside wall. There's a battle back here. Looks like Troutman getting passed up by the number 2 here of Buckley. Buckley going to take over the 6th spot. It's going to put Troutman back to 7th. Troutman into the outside wall in the NWO car. He gathers it up, but he's going to lose a lot of ground there to Josh Buckley. Close racing back here between Kyle Souza and the number 7 of Leo Brodage. And that's in the battle for the 14th, 15th position. Also involves the 84 of Christopher Rothrock, and I believe that is the 943 of Joe Strano, still hanging on back here. So these guys battling. They're not inside the top 10, but they're still battling because they won every position. Every position is a point, as this is only round 5 of the season. We still have 10 races left after tonight, if I remember reading the schedule correctly, as there is a pass right in front of these gentlemen. Looks like James Skelton going to get around Ryan O'Danny. That'll be the pass for the 11th position. Ryan O'Danny's not having the night he'd like, as he's now starting to really drop positions through the field since he got into the outside wall. Another driver into the outside wall. Must be that paint scheme here tonight, because O'Danny and Rothrock have the same paint scheme out there, and both drivers were just into the outside wall. Rothrock going to lose the position there to the number 4 of Souza, so Souza to 13th, Rothrock to 14th. Back up front, there's the distance. Sean Butler into the outside wall that time. Here comes the 42. Terriot going to take the lead down the front stretch. New leader here in Darlington. The 42 of Max Terriot to the front, and it's not over with yet. It looked for a moment like Tim Blum was going to push the envelope and try to get to the inside here on the 88 of Sean Butler. He elected to back off. He still has a clean car, maybe just a slight rub on the right front of that number 10 for Blum. And now the new leader here on lap 40. He's going to come off turn 4. He's going to look to lead another lap here. Going to put 40 laps in the books. So now that we have a new leader, can Sean Butler regroup himself and try and hunt down the 42 and get back around him? This is all happening at the front of this field, and as those 3 broke away, and they were a little over a second ahead of the rest of the field, now Murdoch kind of closed that gap just a little bit. He's about 4 car lengths off the back bumper of the number 10, and he's bringing Johnson in tow. Johnson's car in that 33, though, looking pretty racy here in the first half of the race, and it still looks pretty clean. So could he be possibly saving something for the second half of this event? Looking at timing and scoring, we've been back green flag racing as for a moment it looked like Johnson was going to try to look to the inside on Murdoch, but he elected to throw her back in line. We got 18 laps on these tires, and 2 laps to be the most green flag racing we've seen here tonight. We've only had 1 yellow flag wave on lap 22. We've only had 1 lead change, and you saw that happen right there when Sean Butler got into the wall 3 laps ago. There's a battle back here, though, between Joe Strano and Eric Tupper. The 940 on the outside has the position for 13th, but Joe Strano wants to take it away in the 943. That battle's going to go to Eric Tupper. He's going to hang on to the position for the time being, but he's into the outside wall hard. Middle turns 3 and 4. Tupper going to put the car into the outside wall, so he's now going to have some right front damage. We'll see if he's able to gather her back up and kind of continue on. Danny, though, up here still battling the conditions with the... I don't know if he's battling the conditions of the wall or the track at this point, but Ryan's still having a good run. He's running 12th. Out front, there's the distance between your lead. Your leader of Terriot and your second place runner of Butler. Starting to work up onto, it looks like that's the 81 there, the UPS 81 of Patrick Orr. He was involved in that early on caution. He's going to see, let's see how this plays out with your leaders coming up on a lap down machine here. As it looks like Patrick Orr going to do the gentleman's move here. He moves to the inside. He allows your leaders to go on by. Sean Butler looks to maybe have a little bit of a connection issue with him. As there you saw Patrick Orr still moving down out of the way of your leaders. Doesn't want to get involved with any of them. Coming off turn 4 to complete lap 46 now going to be in the books. Not just quite halfway yet, but we're getting pretty close here tonight. There's the lead. Sean Butler has closed back up on the back bumper of the 42, that time off turn number 2. It was about a half car length. Now he opens it up to about a car length. As you see, 2 different lines being utilized by your front 2 drivers. Sean Butler up playing the Kyle Larson line right up against the outside wall. Max Terriot, though, is trying to play a little bit conservative as he tries to stay away from the wall. This time, though, Terriot up against the wall. Looked like for a moment Murdoch was into the outside wall, and now here comes Johnson. Johnson gonna pounce while he can as Murdoch scraped the wall a little bit in turns 1 and 2. Johnson goes around him. As now you see the gap back from first to third has started to open up a little bit. Blum kind of fading here in the late going. Could he be fading or is he saving a little bit? Looks like Kyle Souza has been on to pit road here as he's coming up to speed. Oh, he's going to make the leaders work for it. The leader's going to have to swerve around him. Terriot goes to the inside, but he's got the old tires. Now can Sean Butler pounce on him? Butler going to get a good run off turn number 4, but not going to have anywhere to go with it. The 42 of Terriot back to the outside to block him. So a pretty big move there by Kyle Souza as he came out of pit road. He had the 4 fresh tires on that number 4, and he just tried to stay on the lead lap, and he was able to do it, so put him at the tail end of the lead lap. As here comes the 42, I believe, down pit road. He's off in turn number 3 as he's bringing her down real nice and slow. Used tires, worn out tires here on the hot and slippery track, especially to the inside. You get a lot of garbage built up on the tires. So here on lap 50, halfway point, Max Terriot going to come down pit road. That was 26 laps on his tires and fuel. So just by quick running the math, I don't believe this will be the last pit stop we see here tonight for him. So now it's going to be Sean Butler, Tim Blum, as here comes Butler this time by. He doesn't want to give up too much time because he knows how much time new tires is going to give the number 10 As actually, here comes Tim Blum down pit road. Yes, Blum's coming with him. That'll turn the lead over. Now we have a new leader, Richard Murdoch, going to lead his first laps of the evening. Only had 3 leaders tonight. So Murdoch going to stay out here and see if he can gain a little track position. The question is, when will he come down pit road to put 4 fresh tires on? Doesn't look like Murdoch's looking to come down pit road. Now he's downshifting off the gas, coming down pit road. Ethan Troutman now will take over the lead because Murdoch relinquishes it to him. Murdoch down to pit road speed. So Troutman will etch his name into the lap log book tonight. Just waiting on, it looks like Troutman, Mitto, Tupper, Potter to come down pit road yet. And this time by Troutman's going to come down. The question is then, will that turn it over to the 20 car, or is the 20 going to bring the High Life machine down pit road here? He's going to try and stretch it, it looks. And right behind him is the 941. That's Gary Weaver. Weaver is 2 laps down. Fresher tires on that 941, but he's not going to have the run down into turn number 1. Looking through the timing and scoring so far, Sean Butler, though, is right there, and he's going to come out of pit road in front of Max Terriot and Tim Blum. So it's still the same 3 drivers, but they kind of swap. Butler going to go back around Terriot as he had the better pit stop. This time by, though, Troutman down pit road. And then there were 2. Brandon Mitto still hanging out there in the number 20, and then it's actually Ryan Oldani is out there still also on the track. Here comes Brandon. Question is, where is Ryan? Ryan's back here with that beat-up 98 machine. He'll take over the lead here this time by as Brandon's down pit road. There it is. Timing and scoring just now. Ryan O'Danny to the lead. Ryan trying to stay out of the way there for the 01. The 01 of Murdoch has those brand new tires. Really showed it there as he went down into the corner. Look how much ground Murdoch put on Ryan. About a half straightaway by the time Ryan came out of the corner and was able to put the power down, so he's going to have to come down pit road this time by. He is off the pace. He is going to come down pit road. Staying out the longest, waiting for a caution flag. Didn't play out for Ryan. Now that's going to turn it back over to the 88 of Sean Butler. Once timing and scoring all readjusted, will be Sean Butler back out front with Max Terriot there second. And then it'd be Tim Blum third. Eric Johnson fourth, and Richard Murdoch will be shown fifth here once they cycle back through. Oh, the 10 of Blum into the outside wall off turn number 4. He's going to get the first Darlington stripe off turn number 4 here on lap 56. Went over half the race before the 10 of Tim Blum found the outside wall, but now the Channel Lock car going to join the rest of the crowd out there tonight, having some right front damage. If there's a car that's left out there without some right front damage, I'd be shocked at this point, but we're giving you a run through the field here in just a moment. Let's do it right now. Why not right now? There's your leader, the number 88 of Sean Butler. He's been out front for 40 laps here tonight. Running second going to be the 42 of Terriot. He led some laps here when he got around Sean Butler, but coming into pit road just a tick slower. He was in his pit box for 15 seconds compared to Sean Butler, who was only there for 14.8. We got a caution flag out there on track. It looks like the 3 of Tony Strano is turned around somewhere on track down in turn number 1 and 2, it looks like. So as it looks like heavy contact to the front nose here for the number 3 of Tony Strano. Let's see if we can go back a little bit here and find that replay. As there we see Tony Strano go down into the corner. Oh, the 84 of Christopher Rothrock gets into the back of the 3. And then the 33, it looks like, possibly getting involved there a little bit. So Tony Strano going to go around here and with a little bit of help off the front bumper. 33 of Eric Johnson was also involved. Let's see if we can rewind it just a little bit farther and go on board here. There's your turn 3 onboard camera with Eric Johnson. Nothing he could do in the 33 machine, as by the time he realized what was going on, it was too late and he was involved. I was looking through a couple of the cars where we were going to go through the field there, and I thought that Eric Johnson had a pretty clean car, but not no more. As everybody is down pit road here on lap 60, I still don't believe we can make it the rest of the way. I believe the most laps we've seen was about 30 laps on fuel, so that'll put him just about 10 laps short. So everybody but one driver down pit road. Ryan, old Danny, going to stay out there in his beat-up Sitco machine. So he's going to play a little bit of strategy. He was only out there for 2 laps, or actually he was coming out of pit road when that all happened. So he does have fresh tires on that machine. Question is now, can he hang on to it? He has the lead now, but can he hang on to it? Because Sean Butler's going to be starting right alongside him. Max Terriot came out of pit road second with Tim Blum, Richard Murdoch, Andy Lee, and Joshua Buckley in 7th. James Skelton in 8th, Ethan Troutman in 9th, and Bruce Potter up inside the top 10. And actually looking at that 59 machine for Bruce Potter, that might be the cleanest looking car. Let's take a closer look. That Gain car, I believe that's throwing it back to one of the Burton brothers when they ran into the, I believe at the time it was the Busch Grand National Series. That car looks fairly clean here tonight. So working lap 61 here. Let's see if we can get a word in with one of the drivers out there on track that were just involved in that. The number 3 of Tony Strano. Tony, you got a copy. It's Roger here in your turn 3 booth.
Yeah, hey, Roger.
Well, Tony, you can hear it in your voice. It seems like you're a little discouraged right now at yourself. Tell us about what's going on out there with the track conditions.
Yeah, no, I made a stupid move. Got tires last time I came in, and when I went down low to let the leaders pass, I just could not regain control of my car, and I don't remember who I took out, but yeah, it was not a good move.
Yeah, into the outside wall you went then, heavy contact. How much time or repair do you have to the number 3?
I only got 2 minutes, so I will be able to finish this thing, but still wish it was 0.
Well, Tony, tough luck here at the right around the halfway point. Try and get out there and get as many positions as you can here and finish this one out with the Lady in Black.
Yeah, thank you, man.
There you heard it from Tony Strano in the number 3. A little bit of time he's going to have to spend in pit road, but he'll be back out there in just a couple moments. Let's check back up out front, though, as the lights on the pace car are out. Looks like Sean Butler's going to get the inside lane here. Ryan's going to elect to take the outside, so we're going to have to see how that plays out. As the lights are out here on lap 62, we're going back racing with 38 laps here to go tonight. 38 laps, and the restart is going to look like this. Ryan to the outside, Butler to the inside. Then it's going to be Max Terriot in the second row to the inside. Tim Blum going to start second on the outside lane. Then it's going to be Murdoch, then Lee, Buckley, Skelton, Troutman, and Strano. Joe Strano still out there. They are Tony and Joe, 2 brothers. So as they work their way off turn number 4, the pace car is down and away. We're going to go back racing here on 63. And there it is, green flags waving. It looks like Butler got a great start on the inside. Butler going to go side by side with Ryan down into turn number 1. It looks like Butler's going to be able to take the spot. Now here comes Max Terriot. Andy Lee into the outside wall in turn 2. Into the outside wall goes the 25 as everybody, look at him fan out down the back stretch, trying to get away from the 25 as he was staying up against the wall to try and give all the other drivers a way around. He is going to lose a lot of positions. He's outside the top 10 right now in 12. It's Butler this time by with Terriot, Blum, Murdoch, Buckley, and the battle is right here for your 6th spot. Old Danny still hanging on to the outside groove there. Skelton going to get to the inside, so that's going to move Skelton into 6th. Oh, Danny there, though, hanging on to 7th as he finds a home for the time being. I know he was only out there for one extra lap than the rest of these leaders who came down under the caution flag to take 4 fresh tires, but he has a lot of damage. I'm not sure if the tires are the problem or if the damage to the front end of that 98 Sitco Ford could be possibly hampering his momentum holding on to positions. Well, it looks like everybody has been got away clean other than the 25 of Andy Lee, who now is back up into, it looks like he gained 1 position over Kyle Souza. Souza back to 12th, Andy Lee back into the 11th spot there in that 25 machine. As this all happens towards the back of that, look at the big wiggle that time out of the mid-toe right there in the 20. That's going to put Lee to the inside here going into the corner. Can he hang on? Oh, it looked like there Brandon was into the outside wall heavy. Kept it up into the outside wall so he didn't collect Lee or Souza, but he'll lose 2 positions in that exchange. Still got 13 cars on the lead lap. Mitto, though, going to go back to the 12th spot. As here's a battle. Here comes the 10 of Tim Blum to the outside on the 42 of Terriot. Terriot down to the inside. I think he was into the outside wall. I saw it light up on our screen. That's going to allow Tim Blum to get around him. And now Murdoch was looking, but Murdoch put her into the outside wall. While Murdoch was into the outside wall, that gave Joshua Buckley a great run to the back bumper, but I think he lifted a little off turn 2. He didn't want to get into the back of the 01. Now Buckley going to go into the outside wall going into turn 3. Everybody at this point trying to get all they can while the tires are good, and they're just stepping over the line possibly a little bit. Sean Butler has about a 2 to 3 car length lead right now over Tim Blum. But the battle is right there because Murdoch is all over the back bumper of that 42 of Terriot. So as your leaders are bumper to bumper, 3rd and 4th are also bumper to bumper. Here comes Tim. Looked for a moment like he wanted to peek out into the corner, but knew he had to ride the high line, possibly see if he can get a run here down the front stretch. As he swings out wide, not going to close the gap on the 88 of Sean Butler that time by. Going to have to just kind of fall in line and ride a little bit. Joe Strano losing a position there. Ryan in that Sitco car still hanging inside the top 10 as right now he's just went around Joe Strano. Andy Lee, though, now looking to the inside on Strano. Andy Lee, we saw him into the outside wall. Oh, now it looks like Strano into the outside wall. Joe Strano going to lose another position. Now put Joe Strano back to the 11th spot. Andy Lee back inside your top 10. He may have been into the outside wall a handful of laps ago, but he still has speed in the 25, as now he's going to get around the 98 of Ryan Oldani. As he gets around, look at Kyle Souza way down on the bottom there to get around Ryan. He's going to take back that position, it looks like. He has the inside line. Can he slide up? As Ryan holds the power down, Souza gives him the outside lane, doesn't want to put him into the wall. At the line, give it to Kyle Souza just by a nose. Contact a little bit, door bangs into turn 1. Ryan into the outside wall. Old Danny trying to hang on to her, but he's going to lose the position. He's now shown in, looks like the 10th position. Let's check back out front. Where is Sean Butler? Where is Tim Blum? Still 1st and 2nd. Working lap 72 here. About to get down into crunch time. Crunching the numbers on the calculator, it still says we're going to be about at least 10 to 15 laps short here on this final run if we go green flag for the rest of this one out. A lot of good racing right now. It looks like 20 drivers still left on the track. Got 12 drivers still on your lead lap. Sean Butler, Tim Blum, Max Terriot, Richard Murdoch, Joshua Buckley, your top 5 drivers, and they have broken away from the field because it is just about a 3.5 second gap until you find James Skelton, who runs in 6th. Then it's Troutman right there in 7th with Andy Lee in 8th, Souza in 9th, and Mitto sitting there in your 10th position. That's your top 10 here on lap 74. Sitting right outside the top 10, going to be Ryan Oldani, though, sitting in 11th with Joe Strano running 12th. Leo Brodage, your first car one lap down, sitting in 13th spot. As we ran through the field, it kind of got a little bit tighter. Oh, Butler into the outside wall once again. Butler just tapping the outside wall that time through 3 and 4. Put a little bit of a gap down the front stretch on Tim Blum. Now it's still about 2 to 2.5 car length gap between your two leaders. Right behind them, throw that car length gap for your first two leaders. Probably cut that in half between Max Terriot and Richard Murdoch. There you see it. It's about a car and a half. Murdoch into the outside wall. It's a fine line up there, and he just stepped over it just a little bit. Look at Buckley. He took a completely different line through 3 and 4 that time by to stay away from the outside wall. Looks like Butler possibly was up into that wall once again. They're coming up on a lap down car. It looks like that's going to be the number 33 here of Eric Johnson. They're looking to put him 2 laps down as he runs in your 16th spot. Remember, before that last caution came out, Eric Johnson had just taken his pit stop as he was trying to get all he could and got wrapped up in that little bit of an incident with the number 3 of Tony Strano when he ran around. There was nowhere for Johnson to go. So right now, Johnson, as he had a top 6 run going, now all the way back in 16th, 1 lap down, possibly going to go 2 laps down here if he doesn't get a caution pretty soon. Andy Lee has now caught the 7th place runner here of the 962 of Ethan Troutman. Troutman looks like he might possibly give the position to Andy Lee. Andy Lee ran him down as he's looking to give Andy the outside lane. There he goes. Andy Lee going to take over the 7th position. Troutman going to fall back into 8th. So Andy Lee gets kind of shuffled on the restart as he found the outside wall, still continuing to try and make up ground here in the late going. Sean Butler pulled away a little bit because Tim Blum stepped over that line we talked about. He went into the outside wall. There you see it looks like the 33. They're going to move down and allow your leaders to go right on by him. It's a tight track, and being the lap car, you don't want to be the one that steps over the line and finds one of your leaders and puts them into the wall. So, yeah, Eric Johnson moving out of the way here on lap 79 as your leaders continue to step down a blistering pace last time by for, looks like Sean Butler having the fastest lap last time by. That was a 30.086. Let's see this time by what Sean Butler does. He goes with a 30.140. So just a little bit slower. You can tell the tires are really starting to fall off because the fastest lap time here today by Sean Butler was a 29.853. So a 2-second fall off just about right now. Yeah, it looks like pit strategy might be coming into play here because here comes the number 2 of Joshua Buckley with 20 laps to go. He's going to bring down the Miller Genuine draft number 2 to pit lane. He'll be the first one of your leaders down pit road. Sean Butler going to stay out here. Here comes Terriot. Terriot going to look to the inside on Tim Blum. Blum into the outside wall. He's holding it up there. Can Murdoch take advantage while the going is good? Oh, caution out. Caution's out on track. Where is it? We're trying to find her. Andy Lee, it looks like in the 25 is going around. A tough break for Andy Lee, but possibly some good luck going to happen here on the timing and scoring. We'll wait to see if that can play out here while we try to take a look back here on our replay. There we go. We have Andy Lee right there. Let's see what happens to him. He was running all by himself at the time of this. You see him up there running the high lane. Let's see what happens when he comes off turn 4. Turn 4 into the outside wall. Tries to hold it up there. He actually bounced off the outside wall, and I believe that was the 962 of Eric Troutman. Nowhere for Troutman to go. Let's throw this back in reverse just a little bit. Let's go on board with Eric Troutman. Heavy contact for Ethan Troutman. Nowhere he could go at the time of that. It looked like Lee was trying to give him the outside lane. Unfortunately, he kind of slipped a little and wound up bouncing off the wall right into Ethan Troutman. So that's going to throw a monkey wrench in. Let's see how the timing and scoring jumbles now because Remember, Josh Buckley came down pit road. He is shown right now behind the pace car, so he should be your race leader. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch. We're going to have to let iRacing timing and scoring sort it out here and see what they decide before we call that one. Sean Butler is actually still showing your leader, so maybe the two of Buckley got picked up by the pace car and he'll get the wave around and get the one to go. But the race off pit road still going to be Sean Butler. It looks like Richard Murdoch going to pick up a position on Tim Blum. So it's Murdoch in second, Blum in third, Terriot fourth. Ethan Troutman still going to come out here with a bunch of front end damage on that NWO car, running in your fifth spot. Brodage right now shown back on the lead lap. He'll have to yield. But a bunch of guys probably going to get the wave around. Buckley, Skelt, and Souza, Potter going to all get that wave around here. Actually, Potter going to come back down pit road. So Sean Butler will still be the leader. Well, as we work under this caution flag, let's see if we can get a word in with one of the drivers who were just involved in that. Ethan Troutman, you got a copy. It's Roger here in your Turn 3 racing booth.
Gotcha, man.
Well, it looks like some good racing going on out there. Unfortunately, here in the late goings of this, you're having a good run, and it seemed like Andy Lee possibly got into the wall there, and you got a little front-end damage from it.
Yeah, I saw him get into the wall, and I couldn't tell if he's going to stay in the wall or spin to the inside. Just kind of guessed, and I did guess wrong. Got some front-end damage here. I think I'll be okay for the end here. We'll just have to wait and see when we go back green here.
Yeah, it looks like you're going to go back green possibly with 15 laps on the board left. Do you have anything left in that NWO car for your leaders in front of you?
I'm not sure, especially with this front-end damage. I'll just have to get going here and see. But I thought I was running around where, as good as I was, I know I was running with the 2, and he took off early. But, yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens here. Going to be a little less than 15 to go here, it looks like.
Well, pull the belts tight in your rig and hit the gas pedal, my friend, because the laps are winding down.
Yep, I'm doing what I can. Thank you.
Well, there you heard it from the driver of the 962, Ethan Troutman. I may have called him Eric before. I've seen an Eric Troutman out there on track a time or two, but Ethan Troutman going to try and give her all he's got here in the late going. He's going to hope that the front end damage doesn't hamper his momentum here at the end of this one, but the guy who has 4 fresh tires and is going to start back on the front row where he's been all day. The 88 of Sean Butler going to lead us back to green here, and we will have 15 laps to go. It's going to be Butler, Murdoch, Blum, Terriot, your top 4 drivers. Then it's going to be Troutman, then Minto there sitting in your 5th and 6th spot. So Joshua Buckley did get the wave around. He was picked up by the iRacing pace car, so he'll tag the rear of the field. He's back on the lead lap, showing right now only 11 drivers on your lead lap here with 15 to go. Butler's led the most laps, showing 65 laps led to this point as the iRacing pace car drops down. Can he finish the job here today? It's the throwback weekend, or throwback week here for the Red Light Scrambler series, and Sean Butler has the start here on the restart. There it is, Sean Butler back to the loud pedal. He got a great start, and so did the number 10 of Tim Blum. Blum going to try and clear Murdoch. He has the inside lane. He has the 4 fresh tires, but Murdoch going to keep the outside wound up. Coming off the corner, Murdoch takes second. So it's Butler. Then it's Murdoch, a little scuffle towards the back of the field possibly, but it's Murdoch, second, Blum third, Terriot now runs 4th. Brandon Mitto has the High Life Miller car, sitting 5th right now over Ethan Troutman. As Butler has a pretty good lead right now over Murdoch. It looks like a half-second gap between your 2 leaders. I want to take a look back here. The number 7 of Leo Brodage having a good night. He was, I believe, a lap or 2 down at one point in that chorus car. Right now finds himself back on the lead lap in the 7 car, running 7, so 7s are wild right now for Leo Brodage. Question is, can he hang there? Because Joshua Buckley, who's chasing him down, running in 8th, he got the wave around, and he had a fast car in the early going. Can he possibly catch Leo and take that position at least? Sean Butler starting to turn up the wick, though. Now it's almost a second gap back to Richard Murdoch, who's holding up, it looks like possibly the number 10 of Tim Blum, as you saw a car kind of swerve out of line down the backstretch. That was Joshua Buckley looking to get around the 59 of Bruce Potter. Potter was just trying to get out of the way in the gain car. Buckley trying to get around him to run down Brodage. Still the same gap, though, up front here. Richard Murdoch still holding Tim Blum at holds right now. Murdoch second, Blum third, Terriot in fourth. There's the gap between Murdoch and Terriot. I'm sure this is going to come down to a barn burner. Oh, look at that. The 10 of Blum, hard contact into the outside wall coming out of turn 4. Here comes Terriot to the inside. Max Terriot going to take over the third position as Tim Blum just kind of, I don't want to say stepped over the line once again, but he really hit the outside wall hard, and that time Terriot kind of pinched him down coming off turn 2. He wanted to hold on to that. He might think he has the quicker car at this point in the race. As that all kind of transpired there, Sean Butler still holds the lead, still the same second gap back to Richard Murdoch. 10 laps to go now for Sean Butler. At this point, if you're Tim Blum or Max Terriot, I believe, right now you're yelling that there's got to be a caution somewhere on track so you can get all caught back up. Now we got a Josh Buckley fan out there. Oh, contact towards the back. Ethan Troutman is around. Ethan Troutman is around, and I believe Josh Buckley, as we were just about to go to him, looked like he was trying to stay away. Let's go back here on a replay and see what happened there. And there it is. Looks like Buckley was looking to the inside, possibly off turn number 2. He has the faster car, tried to get to the inside on Troutman there, and there is contact between the two, and they went down and spun it around off the racing surface. More damage done to Ethan Troutman, but we stay green flag racing here. Joshua Buckley had to give up a couple positions. Now he runs in the number 2 car in 10th. Still the same gap out front. Sean Butler, Richard Murdoch. And then about a second and a half back, going to be Max Terriot holding on the third with Tim Blum in 4th. Brandon Mitto sitting 5th. Leo Brodage in 6th with James Skelton in 7th. Kyle Souza in 8th with Ryan Old Danny there sitting in 9th, and Joshua Buckley back to 10th. It's the closing laps here from Darlington. 7 more laps around the lady in black. The tracks that's been too tough to tame for a lot of these drivers here tonight. Sean Butler's been setting the pace. Right now, the 7 of Leo Brodage trying to hang on to the 6th position, because that man right there in the look-alike car, pretty similar paint schemes, both cores paint schemes. Here comes James Skelton. He has the position. I believe Leo actually has the newer tires on the car. Leo going to pull over. He's going to let James go on by. So James takes the 6th spot. Leo going to take 7th for now. Nothing changed up front other than the number 10 of Tim Blum starting to close the gap, starting to reel back in Max Terriot. These two drivers running around each other all night long, and now in the closing laps find themselves still nose to tail. Sean Butler still holding the same distance gap between him and Murdoch. Kind of fluctuates a little bit here and there, but still all in all the same distance. The race that we're going to see, though, is going to happen right here between these two drivers, because Tim Blum thinks he has a faster car than what position he's in right now. Max came in to the night with a 3-point lead over Tim, and he's going to try and hang on. If he can hang on to the position he can right now, he'll extend that points lead headed into next week. No side-by-side battles on track. This is the closest battle that we have on your lead lap for the time being. As Max Terriot up into the outside wall just a little bit, but he keeps it wound up. Oh boy, almost slides down in front of Tim Blum. It almost kind of looked like they were just about to meet in the middle. 3 laps to go. 3 laps to go, and they're pushing the hardest they have pushed all night. right up against the wall as they come off turn number 2. Who's got the better paint scheme? Who's got the better tires left in it between these two? They got 2 great-looking throwbacks here tonight. Going to get 2 to go this time by. Two laps to go. Sean Butler still holds that second gap over Richard Murdoch. Murdoch holds a second gap over these 2. We're going to continue to watch them here for a little bit here. Battle for this 3rd and 4th position. Tim Blum keeps looking to the inside. He gets the run through the middle of the corner, but doesn't get the power down off. It gets real tight coming off the corner. Final lap here tonight for the Red Light Scrambler Series Throwback Monday night. As we break away from your 3rd and 4th place battle for the moment, that man out front led the most laps. When he comes back around this time, if he can make it through turns 3 and 4 for the last time, Sean Butler put 81 laps out of the 100 laps in his name. As he comes off turn number 4, he's going to see that checkered flag in the air. Winner here tonight for the Red Light Scrambler Series, going to be Sean Butler. Then it's going to be Richard Murdoch. Max Terriot going to hang on to the 3rd place finish over Tim Blum. Then it's going to be Brandon Bitto there in your 20 car coming home 5th. James Skelton going to come home 6th with Leo Brodage in 7th. Kyle Souza comes home in your 8th position with Ryan O'Danny there in 9th. Joshua Buckley comes home 10th. Ethan Troutman not having the night that he wanted as he comes home in the 11th spot with Bruce Potter in 12th. Joe Serrano comes home in your 13th spot. 14th going to be Eric Johnson. Christopher Rothrock comes home 15th. Patrick Orr comes home 16th with Tony Strano coming home 17th. 18th goes to Brandon Phillips. 19th to Andy Lee. Eric Tupper comes home 20th as you see Sean Butler burning them down. 21st goes to Gary Weaver with Jesse Baker 22nd. Leo Bedsal coming home 23rd with Todd Cray 24th. 25th goes to David Camara. So as we let the 88 of Sean Butler have a little bit of fun out there, we're going to break away for just a moment here. We're going to see if we can get a word in with a couple of your winners. A couple of your winners and, well, a couple of your runner-ups here tonight. Sean Butler wins with Richard Murdoch in tow in 2nd with Max Terriot holding off Tim Blum for 3rd. Blum in 4th and Mitto coming home in 5th. Welcome back, race fans here. The Red Light Scrambler Series just finished up 100 laps here at the Darlington Raceway, and what an event they put on tonight. The man who really put on an event, though, going to be the 88 is Sean Butler. He comes home P1 here tonight, leading 81 laps out of the 100 scheduled. Richard Murdoch finished 2nd with Max Terriot coming home in 3rd. We caught up with your 3rd place finisher here tonight. Max, you had a good run out there, but what did you need in those closing laps to be able to run down Sean Butler?
A clean car from halfway through the race. I just couldn't turn anymore.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of drivers battling a tight condition, and then once they kind of danced with that outside wall, really put a hamper on the handling conditions. How about the heat out there tonight? Was the 100-degree track temp playing a factor at all in that for you?
Yeah, probably more in turns 1 and 2, but I felt like I could gain speed on 3 and 4, and I actually worked really hard to keep the car clean and not hit the wall, but just an unfortunate accident with the lap car that messed up my toe there.
Yeah, messing up the toe here. It's a hard track to really tame, especially when you go side by side with drivers. We saw you and Tim Blum there coming down to the end, battling it out. Were you worried about Tim Blum at all trying to get around you to the inside at the end?
Yeah, he was faster than me in 1 and 2, and I actually pushed him in the wall just before that last caution, which I apologize for that. But this is a tough racetrack to race on, and at that point we had used tires, and I didn't expect to have long green flag runs like that we had tonight with so many cars. So that was a good, positive overall race for.
Yeah, a good run for you. You came in tonight as your points leader. It looks like you're going to leave here still as the points leader. You're going to extend it just a little bit. I believe, though, with Sean Butler winning here tonight, he's going to close the gap back up just a tad. But hey, congratulations on a third-place finish. Before we step away from you, we're going to hand you the mic. Is there any sponsors, any shout-outs that you need to give for your third-place finish here at Darlington?
Yeah, to my girlfriend and my friend Max at Xfinity, and the guys running the Red Light League, Josh, James, and Richard. Good second place for him, so congrats to him.
Yeah, so a third-place finish for your points leader here at Max Terriot tonight. Having a good battle when it came down to it with Tim Blum, but going to finish third here tonight for driver of the 42. You've also caught up with the driver of the 01 machine. Seemed like he had a good car in qualifying and had a good car throughout the night here. Richard Murdoch, you come home in second. You qualified there, and you ran kind of about the 5th place all night long, but a second-place finish tonight got to feel like a win.
Yeah, it definitely feels really good, especially I didn't get much practice here, so I expected a top 10 run. Definitely didn't expect to be in second, so I can't complain about this second-place finish for sure.
Yeah, the 01 car looked pretty clean out there. You did run the outside Kyle Larson line around Darlington. How many times do you think you stepped over the line to put a Darlington stripe down the side?
I left a few marks on the Darlington wall. I got a few stripes for sure. Fortunately, only one was a little hard. My pit crew was able to fix it over the couple pit stops we had, so it was a no factor. So I got lucky.
Yeah, you got lucky. You heard us ask Max about the track temp. Did that play a factor into the handling of the 01 machine?
Not really. Just due to my lack of practice, I didn't really get to test this track at different temps, so I just kind of went with what the track gave us, and I worked with it, so I didn't really have anything else to go off of.
So with a second-place finish here tonight, it looks like this is going to be your third top 5 of the year as you finished second and third already this season. It looks like you had a second-place finish last week from Watkins Glen, and a couple weeks ago at Kentucky, you had a third-place finish. So your good finishes continue here with the Red Light Scrambler Series. Next week, I heard, is Myrtle Beach. How do you feel about going from this 1.3 one-lane groove track all the way down to a short track?
Well, it's kind of depressing. I'm not going to be able to make it next week. And actually, I was at Myrtle Beach this past weekend watching the actual race, so I was pretty excited about it. But I'm going to be flying out west, so I'm sure these guys will put on a good show for whoever's watching, and I'll definitely be catching it afterwards.
Well, it's an unfortunate circumstance that Richard Murdoch won't make the race next week. I guess that you can say it just kind of gives everybody a chance to win one.
Well, if Sean doesn't show up, for sure. He's definitely the guy to beat in this league. Him and Max, Tim, James, a lot of those, there's probably 7 or 8 guys that have just as equal shot of winning every week.
Yeah, well, tonight, though, you brought home the 01 machine in second place. Who do you got to thank for your second place finish with the 01?
Definitely thank my teammates at Full Throttle Racing, Tim, Brandon, and Ryan. We communicate, kind of help each other out, give each other notes. My buddy Walter Cooper's watching tonight. My dad and brother Michael. My friends Katie and Jeremy out in Colorado. My buddy Sam and his wife Brandon are 2 little awesome kids. Jeffrey and Anaya out in Las Vegas. And my Uncle Gary out in California, who I'm going to visit next week. I appreciate those guys watching. And I appreciate you for picking us up this week, last minute especially. Thank you.
Absolutely our pleasure here at the Turn 3 Racing Network. But Richard Murdoch, your second place finisher, and it seemed like he brought the entire family along with him tonight here to Darlington to watch him. So once again, congratulations to Richard Murdoch on his second place finish. Now the interview that everybody's been waiting for. No, I don't want to say he's new to Victory Lane. Even myself, we've seen him numerous times park the 88 in Victory Lane. But tonight here at Darlington for the first time on the Turn 3 Racing Network, Sean Butler, you won the throwback race here and you led 81 laps out of the 100.
Hey, yeah, it was a great night. Able to qualify on a pole, keep it up front the whole night. Some lap traffic definitely influenced a little bit of an outcome there, but that's just part of the racing. And congrats to Richard coming home second, and Max and holding on for third, and Tim running up there all night. They were really hard to hold off there on those runs, but I don't know, just kind of worked out and played into my hand, and definitely on that last restart, being on that, on the front row on the bottom definitely helps out.
Yeah, it really seemed like you had a fast car tonight here from Darlington, and you really showed it leading 81 laps. Is Darlington one of those tracks that you look at on the schedule, or when the schedule comes out early on in the season and you circle it, or is it one of the tracks that you could actually deal without going to?
I love Darlington. It's definitely a driver's track. It's one of those places you try not to race a lot of people early. You just kind of, somebody gets a run on you, let them have it, and then battle them later. So that way you don't overdrive it into the corners. It gets so easy to get in the walls here, and if you do that, it just sucks all your speed out of you, and you're just dropping back like a rock. So I love it. Wish the setup wasn't so tight. It was definitely a little warm, but it cooled down from practice, so that was nice. It made it drive a little bit better. I think we're like 115 in practice. I think we're like 104 for the race, 100, so that was nice.
Yeah, 102 at the drop of the green flag. When we checked it right around the halfway point, it was still sitting at the 100-degree marker. So a pretty hot day here on a wore-out surface. How many times could you guess that you found the outside wall?
Probably about. I only have really hit it once, hard, and during it down to 3 and 4, but I probably grazed it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, it's definitely
so it's a
treacherous
Darlington
playing up
stripe.
there.
Everyone gets it.
There is definitely no car out there tonight that did not have a Darlington stripe, as we saw a couple guys in and out of the wall numerous times, but you were able to kind of maintain it and do the least amount of damage to the 88. So, Sean, it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, I believe you've won a majority of the races so far this year with the series here. It looks like the only one you haven't won that you entered would have been back in Talladega when you had a 24th place finish. You won at Kentucky, you won at Michigan, and now you won here at Darlington. Is there anybody out there that's going to stop you right now?
Yeah, these guys, Max is really great here. Pretty much everywhere we go, especially when we get into the chase. He's definitely one of the guys. Him and Tim Blum, they're really tough out here, but there's probably about another 4 or 5 guys that really, really run up front. Usually Darlington was one of those places that kind of put a wrench in that, because not everyone runs great here. Myrtle Beach probably put a bit of a wrench in that too, but we'll see what happens. Unfortunately I missed last week because of the internet. I'm missing race here in a couple weeks in Vegas because I'll be out of town, so just out here trying to get some wins racked up for the chase to secure my spot in there, and have some extra bonus points going into those.
Yeah, bonus points always going to play a factor when it comes down to the end of the year. But Sean, we're going to let you go celebrate, but before we let you step away, who do you got to thank on that 88 machine?
I want to give a shout out to my teammates over at Need for Speed. We always work hard on practicing and working throughout the race, trying to talk strategy and figure out what we need to do to try to finish up as far as we can. James rebounded, and so did Buckley. Top 10 finishes, I think 6th and 10th after getting caught on pit road that last caution. So good job by them. And then I want to thank all the people that come out here and watch us race every week. And thanks to you for picking us up this week. And maybe we'll see you again in the future.
Absolutely. There it is. Sean Butler, tonight's winner here from the Throwback race at Darlington for the Red Light Scrambler Series. As he mentioned, The Turn 3 Racing Network here, picking them up for the one-off race as the PTR TV boys are away for the week, so we do appreciate the Red Light Scrambler Series hopping over here. We're always, looking out here for the community to try and help them out, but tonight's winner, you heard from him, Sean Butler, parking the 88 in victory lane for his third time this season. He's just going out there for wins. That's what he says. Timing and scoring, scrolling across the top of your track here, or top of our ticker, find where your favorite driver finished here tonight, but I can tell you your top 5 finishers, the 88 of Sean Butler winning it here with the 01 of Richard Murdoch second, the 42 of Max Terriot coming home there in third place, holding off the hard charger number 10 of Tim Blum in fourth. Brandon Mitto coming home there in your fifth position. That rounds out the top 5 drivers here tonight. 25 drivers entered into the event. And, well, those were your top 5 that came out on top. Sean Butler claiming King of the Mountain here from Darlington. That's going to do it for us here at the Turn 3 Racing Network. I'm Roger Muth. I brought you all the camera actions and the mistakes throughout the broadcast. We do thank the Red Light Scrambler Series coming over here for the one-off race. Hope to see them in the future at some point. And we'd like to thank all the fans before we walk away and leave you. Next week, you can catch the Red Light Scrambler Series back over there on the PTR TV. They do a great job. And check them out over there if you're not following them, follow them. There's a great group of guys here in the series and a great group of guys over there for PTR TV. But that's going to do it here from the Turn 3 Racing Network. Roger Muth signing off, and we will catch you next time live.